Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here. In today's video, I'll be going over the top edge rushers available for the Washington Commanders and if they should sign any of them. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Pre-recording this video, so recording this May 17th, so if anything changes in between then, that's why. And if it's one of these three players, I might not even upload it. We will see. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So, Commanders, their biggest position of need heading into the offseason probably was edge rusher. And, heading into, training camp and, all the other stuff, offseason stuff, their biggest need is still edge rusher. They really haven't addressed it. A couple minor signings that they've made, some depth, but really they haven't addressed these starting edge rusher position. Some people wanted them to get two. They haven't gotten one. Dietrich Wise is nice, but he's not a starting, at least he's not a really good starting edge rusher in this league. He's a average, below average starter to a very good third option, fourth option on a team as your edge rusher. But that's really it. That's really it. They don't have, they didn't add a bunch of other guys. They added like Jacob Martin, some interior guys that maybe can switch outside occasionally, but really that's it. So we'll go over some of the top remaining edge rushers. You can see on this list, this is late April, so some of these guys might have been signed. You got DeMarcus Walker available, Jadeon Smith, Preston Smith, former Redskins player. Then you got Matthew Judon, Von Miller, and Kaiser White, I believe, is still available, but he's more of an outside linebacker, linebacker type than the other guys. But let's get right into it. So, number one guy, and I'm not saying these are guys that I think they should necessarily sign, but these are just like top three options according to consensus, and I'll give you guys my opinion on all of them. So, the biggest name, obviously, Von Miller. And sorry if my voice is a little bit different, still a little bit under the weather, but Von Miller, first ballot Hall of Famer, probably Super Bowl MVP, forgot what, 2015, so whatever Super Bowl that was, but recently hasn't been, the Von Miller that we all know. 2023, man, played 12 games, 0 sacks. That's crazy. I know he had an injury. I don't know if the injury happened in 2022, the end of 2022, or in 2023. 2024, 6 sacks in 13 games, so not awful. But from what a lot of people are saying, and what I've heard from Bills fans, he's just, my roommate is a big Bills fan, has a big Bills Insta. Shout out to him, Bills Mafia fan page. But Von Miller hasn't been as good, and I just don't think he's necessarily worth it. 8 sacks in 2022, 5 in 2021, 9.5 in 2021, 8 in 2020, 8 in 2019. So it's been a minute since he's been a lease, probably since 2019, maybe even 2018, since he's really been that guy. 2021 was okay, but for me, I just don't think it's worth it. Big personality, has had some off the field issues, I believe, in the past. And, I just think there's better football players available. And Von Miller isn't necessarily the best option for the Commanders. The best one, in my opinion, would be Jadeon Smith, 6'4", 270 pounds, 32 years old, will be 33, I believe, by the start. Yeah, around the start of the season. And, has been in the league for a minute, drafted to the Ravens in 2015, was with them for 4 years, had some solid seasons, nothing crazy, but had some solid seasons. Then went to Green Bay, where he had the best years of his career, 13.5, 12.5, 2021 missed the whole season, probably like an ACL or something. Then 2022 went to the Vikings, had a 10-sack season, and then, I don't know what I just did there. And then 2023 went to the Browns, 5.5 sacks. And then 2024 was with the Browns, then got traded to the Lions and had 9 sacks. So he would be not cheap, but he wouldn't be too expensive. Would obviously be a 1-year deal. I don't think many teams would give much more than a 1-year deal for him, especially since he's older and it's a little bit late right now in the process. But Jadeon Smith would be a great option. It's better than any edge rusher, in my opinion, that we have on the roster right now. And again, I think you're not going to have to pay a ton for him, even though he is, not an elite edge rusher, but a very good one, like a borderline Pro Bowl type of player. Let's look at some of his information here. Jadeon Smith, PFF. We'll look at some other stuff as well. So his PFF grade, and you got to take PFF with a grain of salt. But from what I heard, Lions fans really liked him. They really want him to stick around. So, 75 PFF grade, pretty good. Run defense isn't that great, but it's not terrible. So yeah, wouldn't mind Jadeon Smith at all. Probably my number one free agent target for the Washington Commanders at this point in the offseason. There's not a lot of options out there. Von Miller just doesn't really, appeal to me. And Jadeon Smith, I think, would be a good option for the Commanders. Not you don't have to trade for him. Just pay him whatever it is, around probably $10 million for 1 year. Sorry. Trey Hendrickson is another option. I'm not going to necessarily talk about him in this video because he's not a free agent. They would have to trade for him, so something to also keep in mind as well. So let's go ahead, look at Jadeon Clowney, 6'6", 266, number one pick in 2014. Was a bust. A lot of people thought for his first couple years, then really had a good run there from 2016 to 2019, and still has had some really good, not really good, but good seasons since then. Had a good year in Cleveland in 2021, had another good year in 2023 with the Ravens. This past year played in 14 games with the Panthers, had 6 sacks. He's a really, really good run defender from what I remember from watching him, and can get sacks too, but really good run defender. So he's someone to watch out for. Let's look at his PFF stats because I want to see the run defense stats on that. So his overall grade looked like from the preview there, 70.8. Yep. And his run defense grade wasn't that good, but just again, from what I remember, very good run defender. So I guess we can't look at the previous years. But yeah, Jadeon Clowney, I would rather sign him than someone like Von Miller. He's not super old. What is he? I guess he's 32. I thought he'd be younger than that. But he is 32. I mean, makes sense, 2014 draft class. But, he's bounced around the league for a minute now. But I think, he would be open to signing with a contender, and that would be the Washington Commanders for a relatively cheap deal. But he is a big money guy. Like I remember, I think it was around 2020, and he really waited it out before he signed a contract and wanted like an outrageous amount of money. I remember it was like 20 something million, which at the time was a lot for a guy like Jadeon Clowney, and he didn't end up getting it, and I think he settled with the Titans a lot later in the offseason. So money, at least at that time in his career, was very important, and I don't think the Commanders are going to overpay, but at some point, these players, they want to play the leverage game, but the closer you get to training camp, the closer you get to the start of the season, the less leverage that these players have. And, teams want to get these players acclimated. They don't want to be signing guys mid-season. Obviously, they will if they have to. Injuries happen, but that is not the ideal scenario for them. So the leverage will go a little bit, will start to decrease as, the offseason continues to progress. But Jadeon Clowney, I think would be a similar, pay range as Jadeon Smith. I rather have Jadeon Smith, but both guys would be upgrades for the Washington Commanders. And you look at what they have now in Dorrance Armstrong, just to give you guys a little bit of a refresher. Had 5 sacks, which, again, that's your best edge rusher, and he had 5 sacks. But I believe he did miss some games Let's see, I guess didn't miss a lot, but missed one game. I thought he missed more than that, but he did have he had a really good end of the season. If I remember correctly, had a good, second half-ish of the season. Had a good beginning and a good end of the season. Last 1, 2, 3, 4 games had 2 sacks. So, decent there. And then playoffs, I remember we had a good playoffs. 3.5 sacks in the playoffs. So if you look at his total numbers, he played in 19 games, 8.5 sacks. So hopefully we get more of that, second half of the season, like maybe not even second half, last third of the season, because this middle portion right here was not very good. Sacks aren't everything, though. Dante Fowler was getting the sacks, but maybe not doing some of the other stuff that, you wanted him to do, like run defend. Let's see his PFF grade, and then we'll call it a day. I don't think it was that great. Let's see. I don't know why it's not showing it, but it is what it is. But yeah, that is it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, comment down below your favorite free agent that the Washington Commanders could sign. Like I said, for me, it is probably Ziggy Smith, but wouldn't mind Jadeon Clowney. Von Miller wouldn't be that awful, but I think they got better options. And Dorrance Armstrong, still young, 27 years old, still can develop. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hit that like button, that notification bell as well. Peace.